I'm happy to be here. I hope that we get some wins in here for you guys, but continue to come out and support, and yeah, go Fever. I'm here. DB is here. I have arrived.
Incredible day for our franchise as we welcome DeWanna Bonner, who is one of the greatest players in WNBA history, to the Indiana Fever.
DeWanna Bonner, a two-time WNBA champion and six-time All-Star, just made a move that has Caitlin Clark haters in full meltdown mode. If you thought the Indiana Fever were dangerous before, well, buckle up, because they just went from a rising contender to a full-blown powerhouse. Fever fans, this isn't just hope anymore. This is a championship-level squad in the making. And just when critics thought they could relax, The Athletic dropped a bombshell. Their latest piece breaks down Bonner's free agency process and why she picked the Fever over several other offers. If you're a real Fever fan, you're going to love hearing which teams she turned down and why. For weeks, we've heard the tired old claim, no one wants to play with Caitlin Clark. It's too much of a spectacle, too much media attention, too much drama. But DeWanna just torched that narrative like a flamethrower at a paper factory. Let's get real. When you're smashing records, selling out arenas, and turning a struggling franchise into a must-watch team, top players don't run away from that. They run toward it. And that's exactly what's happening in Indiana. Not long ago, the Fever were the WNBA's punching bag. In 2023, they limped to a 13-27 record, barely a blip on the league's radar. The year before, a brutal 531. To put it bluntly, they weren't even an afterthought. Home games felt more like practice scrimmages, with echoes bouncing off empty seats, and attendance struggled to hit 4,000 fans per night. But enter Caitlin Clark, and suddenly, everything changed. She's not just a rookie, she's a revolution. And now, elite players aren't avoiding Indiana, they're fighting to be part of this movement. Bonner's decision isn't just another signing, it's a statement. The so-called circus around Clark isn't a deterrent, it's a magnet for greatness. So, to all the doubters who swore up and down that no one wanted to play in Indy, how's that take looking now? The Fever just added championship DNA, veteran leadership, and an absolute bucket-getter in Bonner. This team is no longer just climbing the ranks. They're ready to take over. If you're hyped for this new era of the Fever, smash that like button. And if you believe Caitlin Clark and company are about to send shockwaves through the WNBA, hit that subscribe button. The takeover starts now. Enter Caitlin Clark in 2024, the game-changer who flipped the Fever's fate faster than Angel Reese snags boards. She wasn't just a shooter, she was a playmaker, a showstopper, and a force of nature. With a college swagger that didn't fade, she averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. Rookie of the Year? Check. WNBA single-season assist record? Also check. The Fever's transformation was nothing short of cinematic. Clark took a struggling team and turned them into an offensive powerhouse, lifting them to third in the league rankings. From bottom feeders to playoff contenders with a 2020 record, Indiana's resurgence was as fast as it was undeniable. The last time the Fever saw the postseason, Michelle Obama was still decorating the White House. Attendance? Off the charts. Over 340,000 fans flooded into 18 home games, averaging 17,000 per night, the highest in WNBA history. This wasn't just a fan base, it was a movement. The Fever weren't just a team anymore, they were the epicenter of women's basketball. But of course, the internet never sleeps. Even with Caitlin Clark turning Indiana into the WNBA's biggest attraction, boosting ratings, selling out arenas, and making the league must-watch TV, critics couldn't keep quiet. "It's a circus," they whined, as if players would rather play in empty gyms than thrive under the brightest lights. "Nobody wants to play in Indiana with all that drama," they cried. And then came the Christy Sides got done dirty saga. After leading the Fever to the playoffs, Sides was let go, and the sympathy train left the station at full speed. I think Christie did the best she could, handling the media storm, the Caitlyn effect, the madness of it all. Cheryl Swoops lamented, making it sound like coaching Clark was some impossible balancing act. But let's be real. Coaching a generational talent isn't a burden. It's an opportunity. You either rise to the challenge or get left behind. Sides made some questionable choices, and reports later surfaced that Clark wasn't getting the support or guidance she needed. In pro sports, results matter. The Fever made their decision and moved forward. And this whole narrative about players avoiding Indiana, it never made sense. Top athletes don't shy away from the spotlight, they chase it. Saying elite players would avoid the Fever because of Clark's attention is like Cunningham's presence stretches the floor and adds that relentless edge every contender needs. Then there's Aaliyah Boston, 2023's Rookie of the Year, already a walking double-double and only getting scarier with experience. And then, the biggest surprise, DeWanna Bonner, a legend in the game. 2 rings, 6 All-Star nods, and 15 years of pure dominance. She spent the last 5 seasons dragging Connecticut deep into the playoffs, including a finals run in 2022. Even at 37, she was still putting up 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, proving her game ages better than fine wine. Her signing with Indiana sent shockwaves through the league. After her heated playoff battle with Caitlin Clark in 2024, where fouls, words, and tension flew in every direction, most thought she'd rather go one-on-one with a grizzly bear than share a locker room with Clark. And yet, here she is, in a Fever jersey. So why did she choose Indy? According to The Athletic, Bonner had multiple teams knocking on her door. The Minnesota Lynx, fresh off a near-championship run, wanted her to join their title chase. The Phoenix Mercury, her former squad, was eager for a reunion. But Bonner turned them all down for one reason. She believes the Fever have the best shot at winning right now. Some critics have argued that other players haven't gotten the same spotlight despite putting up similar numbers or winning big. But in sports, one truth always stands. Winning speaks louder than words. That's exactly why DeWanna Bonner's decision to sign with Indiana is massive. At 37, she's not chasing paychecks, she's chasing rings, and she knows the Fever, with Clark leading the charge, gives her the best shot at adding one more to her collection. Bonner isn't just here for a farewell tour, she's here to win. And she sees what everyone else does. As long as Clark keeps doing what she does, dropping dimes, draining threes, and pulling in record crowds, Indiana is a force that isn't fading anytime soon. Still watching? Drop a basketball in the comments. Let's talk Fever basketball.